NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at.
A lot of time together. The holidays are here. People are traveling. People are getting on the road today. If you're getting on the road today, I bet that your plan is to get on as soon as possible. There are people who are leaving work today and they're immediately going to get on the road. They're going to pick their children up early today. They're immediately going to get on the road. Millions upon millions of Americans will be traveling over the next few days as we get ready for what everybody calls Thanksgiving. Good morning to you. You are in the right spot. Welcome back. My name is Nathan Ivey, back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. I'm a Virgo with superlative flows, and this is the last honest place in Cincinnati media. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a daily digital show. We've been rocking for a few years now online, and we are brought to you by the good folks at Cincinnati Digital Media. We call it CIN Digital, CIN Digital. You can find us on Facebook. And they produce podcasts for the people. The focus is the folks that live inside the I-275 loop and the surrounding areas. And in particular, the urban community. That means black folks. Cincinnati Digital Media believes in the power of black voices, of female voices, of marginalized voices, and it's reflected in the various hosts. You can check out the podcast right now. You can head over to Spreaker and just type in CIN Digital Media, and you can subscribe to all of the podcasts right now. Good morning. Listen, the Nathan Ivey Show is a wonderful place where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men, and sucker MCs get dealt with. If you would like to test the limits of a dangerous force, my number is pretty simple, 513-873-7134. What are your plans for the week? Let me be one of the first folks in media to say, well, good morning to you, and I hope happy holidays, whatever the holidays mean for you. You might be like, I don't do the holidays, Nate. I ain't doing that white man's holiday. I know there's people who feel that way. Cool. That works too, bro. That works too. We are broadcasting live from Cincinnati, from an undisclosed location, really a secret location in Cincinnati. And we talk a lot about Cincinnati issues. If you're someone who is into Cincinnati issues, politics, in particular from the African-American perspective, because I am an African-American, then you might like this show. If you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, if everything has always gone right for you, if you've been handed everything your entire life, You may not like these flows. These are working class flows. These are blue collar flows. I mean, these are people that got life experience and book smarts. You'll enjoy this show. If you enjoy the internet, you might enjoy the Nathan Ivey Show. This is not like any other show. Okay, this show is different. We focus on people, politics, and pleasure, with a particular focus on what's happening with African Americans. But we talk about what is going on. We talk a lot about local issues. You'll hear that on the Nathan Ivey Show. You'll hear local guests during political season. You'll hear candidates. You'll hear about what's happening in the community. You may hear this in other places, but you'll certainly hear it here on the show. And thanks for all the folks that helped bring that together. What's up, Ray? What's up, Jesse? What's up, Ray Dog? What up, Drop? All my folks on Twitter, good morning to you. Glenn from Mason. You should follow the crew, man. You should be following Drop. You should be following Ray, perhaps. You should be following Mason Muller, Ray Dog. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Black Russia. Black Russia is out. He's out. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Please take a moment. Please take a moment and like and share this show wherever you think it would be best for it to be shared. Wherever that is. Get to the chopper! And then we'll get to the choppers. Just take a moment. Let me give you a little moment here so that you can take some time and just share the show, please. That is very important as we get started. So I'm going to give you a minute to share the show, and then we'll listen to the Bloomberg Urban Report, and I'll come back to rock.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Joan Doniger. Nike has set December for the release of its new Colin Kaepernick sneaker. Yahoo says it's part of the endorsement deal Kaepernick has with Nike. It'll be released nationwide. The Griot says the buzz about the shoe could see it sell out as quickly as the Kaepernick Icon jersey that came out last February. Originally, it retailed for $150, but now sells for twice that much. From secondhand sources, it sold out within hours. Stacey Abrams is getting into television. The same Stacey Abrams who ran for governor of Georgia and lost, but is mentioned as a presidential or at least vice presidential aspirant herself. The Hollywood Reporter says she's planning to executive produce a drama at CBS, Never Tell, based on a novel she wrote under the pen name Selena Montgomery. And how do you shop on the day after Thanksgiving? It may be a function of age. A Deloitte report says those under 25 are more likely than any other age groups to say they will shop in stores. And that's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Joan Doniger.
I wouldn't have known that. So younger shoppers prefer to go out, huh? Interesting. You agree with that? Little Bloomberg Urban Report. I want to give you a chance to like and share today's show. Let's get back into it, shall we? Now Nathan Ivey with you in the air chair. So there was a building collapse in downtown Cincinnati. There was one man who was, they couldn't find him. Apparently some concrete got poured on. I don't have all the specific details, and some may have more than I do, but it made part of the building collapse down on 4th and Ray Street. If you live or work downtown, then you already know what I'm talking about. You've been seeing it. So just yesterday, 4 people were pulled from the rubble, but a 5th person is missing. Very sad situation there. Can you imagine? Fire crews have been working damn near 24 hours at the scene. So this isn't a crisis situation right here. I'm looking at the images. I mean, man. And it's just so much construction going on in the city. Have you ever driven past or driven past or were you probably driven past a construction site? You're thinking, man, I was up on, where was it at? They were doing a construction site, building a new building over where they claimed that they were going to try to put the FC Cincinnati soccer stadium, but that was a lie. Sidebar, I'll say it again. I just wonder how good of a neighbor and partner was FC Cincinnati in terms of being forthright from the very beginning. And I'll say it again. If you started a personal relationship with someone and they started off trying to deceive you, would you invest in that relationship? Probably not. Like if you started in a relationship with somebody and they purposely trying to deceive you from the front and you know it, would you try to start a deep relationship with that person? No, you wouldn't. That's what FC Cincinnati did to us. Talking about they wanted to go out to Oakley. Lying ass mofos. They never wanted to go to Oakley. It's a damn lie. But anyway, right out there on Oakley, right? At that little, you know what I'm talking about. That's where the UDF is. There's a building to the right of it. So I'm driving past one day, man, and it's like 5-6 stories up. Some dude's like walking. He's just walking up there freestyling. I'm like, what? It was a construction worker. They were working on something. Then he sits down and he's straddling. He's like 5 stories up. I'm like, man, something terrible could happen. Some people don't have an issue with heights. To me, I could never have that job. I don't even think I could do it. I'm sorry. That's for somebody else. This is terrible. And the Cincinnati Fire Department Chief, Roy Winston, has been giving updates on the partial building collapse again at 4th and Race Street in downtown Cincinnati. Man, I could see where it collapsed through. Now, was that like what? Was that a human error? Was that a human error that caused that? Do you live downtown? Do you work downtown? Or what have you seen? I'd love to know. 513-873-7134 if you would like to share your thoughts as we get ready for the holidays. Yeah, some time off. Yeah, enjoy it. Hopefully you got Friday off. If you have Friday off, you got a good job. Going back to work the day after Thanksgiving. But again, there's many industries, including media, that do. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. Good morning, everybody. Pamela's in the house. CG Dub. Tracy, good morning, everybody. Pat writes, good morning. Ashley, hey, how you doing? She writes, good morning, Nathan in the Choppers. Pamela writes, good morning, Nathan in the Choppers. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Tracy writes, hi. Hey, good morning, everybody. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Now, yesterday, for the first time, I got a chance to view and watch that new Hamilton County prosecutor campaign video. And I'm sure you're going to hear commercials on media very, very soon. And in it, you had 2 well-known African Americans who appeared to be giving they were giving their endorsement of the white male Republican Hamilton County prosecutor, even though there are 2 African American challengers that are going to duke it out in a Democrat primary coming up early next year. And then the winner will move forward to challenge the incumbent, and that's Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters. Have anybody got a chance to process that a little bit more? Any residual thoughts on that? I went back and looked at the video since yesterday's show. That's all I can say. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Again, 513-873-7134. So today's show will be as usual, a smattering of topics that on a wide variety of issues, but I want to start talking locally. Yes, locally. That's what I want to talk about. What's happening here locally? That's what I want to get your thoughts about. Again, 513-873-7134. In the sports world, I'm seeing that Andy Dalton is back. It makes you wonder why they ever set the guy down. The reason why Andy's coming back is because the Bengals have their best shot in the next few weeks of winning any games. Unfortunately, the Bengals have 2 teams on their schedule upcoming that are just as bad as they are, the Dolphins, and I believe it's the Jets. So that's their best shot at winning any games. Because as low standard as it sounds, You know the Bengals would prefer to go 2-14 rather than 0-16, right? Now they're going to try Andy back out there. Like, whoever thought that, what was the guy's name that was in there? Tyler. They always got these Tylers. Tyler somebody. He was a bust from day one. What a bad coaching job. I'm just telling you, I think Marvin would have gotten us a couple of wins by now. But it is what it is. Andy, Rudy Tootie, he's back. He'll probably come out and play spectacular because he got sat down for the first time in his career. Well, let's see if it brings the dog out of him. If ever there was a scenario to bring the dog, the eye of the tiger out in Andy Dalton, maybe it's after he got benched. Maybe to make him really stop all that weak ass shit he be doing. I'm sorry. Damn. Stop with the Candy Dalton routine. I put it that way. Sorry. I have children too. I understand completely. I don't want you to have to turn away. So I don't know. It'll be something to watch for the next couple of games. A little bit of drama. They lost to the Steelers. Now Andy's back. They should have brought him back before the Steelers. Oh, man. You know, I'm not like Cincinnati. There's some things that Cincinnatians go along with, but to me, they seem strange and odd. And one of those things is Cincinnatians' odd, strange obsession with zoo animals. This city is oddly obsessed with freaking zoo animals. Why is that local news? Because a new giraffe or a new animal was born into the Cincinnati Zoo. How is this local news? Healthy baby giraffe born at Cincinnati Zoo. Every time a new baby something is born, they want to tell us about it. You know why? It's all about promotions. They don't give a damn about them animals because people who care about animals don't put them in cages. Don't give me this crap you care about the animals here. Everybody goes along with this. This is persecution right here. I'm just telling you, I can't go along with it. I hate going to the zoo. I do, for this very reason. The wifey can't stand it. She's like, oh my God, this black man. I'm being honest with you. I'm supposed to walk around out like the animals are cool with this. Not. And then what kills me is we act like there's no connection between these animals being in captivity, and then from time to time you'll hear about like an animal that dies at the zoo. Maybe they wasn't in captivity, they wouldn't be dead. So we just supposed to play along with this. I don't want to play along with this. See, this show's a little bit different. We're going to challenge the conventional wisdoms of most Cincinnatians, help to wake this city up a little bit. Everybody thinks the same. Healthy baby giraffe born in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo. He'll be gawked at. The animal will be gawked at, poked at, prodded at, photographed to death. And then if the animal dies in captivity, they're going to put the video, they're going to put it out like, oh, you know, we love to name these animals. I'm just saying, stop it. What is this, the Fiona? Listen, y'all need to stop. Oh, look at Fiona. Look at Fiona. Are you kidding me? Oh, Fiona. CDB Magazine, every single year, they do like a best of, and I think Fiona, which is a baby hippo, I believe. Is she still alive? I don't know. Because when the animals die, nobody connects the fact that they're in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo to the fact that they probably died early, except for me. Y'all all bought off by the Cincinnati Zoo. That's what it is. 513-873-7134. I'm not against them. I ain't against them. I'm not against them. I'm not against them at all. I'm for them. But come on now. So let's stop acting like we don't know what's going on here. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nathan. You got a lot.
Say what now?
Got a lot of feedback coming through.
Hold on the phone now? Hold on 1 second here. Let me see if I can do something about that. How about that?
It's still kind of hard. Hear me too, though. But if you can hear me, then I can say one again. It's Kev on the cell. How are you today, Nathan?
I'm doing great, man. I can't hear you.
Nathan?
Kev on the cell? Yo, Kev on the cell? I hear you.
Nathan?
Yeah, Kev on the cell? Hey, Kev on the cell. Call me right back, man. Can you hear me?
I'm hanging up. call back.
Oh, he's going to call me back. See, he already knows. He's a wise veteran caller. He understands. Yeah, call me back. I'll try to put you straight back on. Where was I? You was talking about Fiona. Yeah, is Fiona still alive? I just can't keep up with these animals. These animals come, they go, baby gorillas, baby hippos. Stop the insanity, please. Stop the insanity. What the hell is this? Oh, Drop is on another level with his. I see it. I like it, Drop. I see your video production going up, bro. I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Let me try this again. Hey, Kev, on the sale?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
can hear you.
I can hear you. Yo, Kev, on the sale. We hear you, man.
Yep. We're going to take this as a sign. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. Call me back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's probably on my end, but I'm not sure. Oh, I like this meme you got here, Drop. When you put this one? 2 days ago? Okay. With the money. You are so... Drop Squad 52 dropping science. You hear this guy?
Is not free. 100 years later.
This man. Why did you have Martin Luther King quotes on there? I'm on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter and you want to connect, you can find me at Nathan from Cincy. Okay, some crazy stuff on here. Interesting. Nice. Nice. Somebody writes, yeah, talk slick and greasy now. The brethren is home and all three of us might rush you tomorrow. Oh, my God. I'm seeing these emails a little bit late. I see you, Omar. This must have been, early in the week? Mm-hmm. I see. Have you been following the Ohio Kings? You should be following the Ohio Kings on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Now, let's talk about Colin Kaepernick, because what we heard on Bloomberg Urban Report this morning is that Colin Kaepernick has a brand new tennis shoe coming out. How's that work? So, and I hate to admit when Fame is right about anything, but I remember Fame was the first one out there saying that he felt like it was Nike and also Colin Kaepernick in cahoots together trying to run some games. And we do know that Nike keeps coming up in all these negotiations. Like they were trying to do a video and they were going to list the teams. Colin Kaepernick was going to say all the names of the teams that showed up for the workout as if those are the ones who are more progressive and enlightened. And somehow I'm sure they were going to mix in his tennis shoe. And that tennis shoe culture is bigger than it's ever been. They're talking about these shoes are selling out. You know why? Because they're creating instant classics. You know what I'm saying? Colin, politically relevant, selling shoes. It makes those shoes relevant. And people are going to be snapping them up. They had a jersey they sold. The damn thing sold out in a day. And so what I've been reading online is that Nike is expecting and anticipating a lot of sales with these new Colin Kaepernicks. And again, this goes way beyond just kids who want them. You got a whole sneaker culture out there where people are buying them in mass, pay other people to buy them, and then take them online and mark them up and see if they can make a lot of money out of them. Who knew? Who knew 20 years ago when this whole thing got kicked off with Nike and Air Jordans and the sneaker wars began, that 20 years later, some of these things sell for $10,000, $9,000, $2,000 for a pair of sneakers. Sometimes they're worn. Like some of these things are so popular that people can wear them and they can still fetch thousands of dollars when you put them on certain markets, man. That's what they're going to do with these Colin Kaepernicks. Was Colin Kaepernick, is this all just a ruse, just a marketing ploy to sell more T-shirts and jerseys? Or, you know, I mean, why did Colin pull out of the workout if he really wants to be in the NFL? Why would he want to be in the NFL? You just got millions of dollars of payoff. And you making money with Nike, why go back out there? I don't know. We'll see. Brian writes morning. Ray writes grand risings all. Clue Magic's in the house. He writes good morning. Nate and the Choppers. What's up with you, Clue? Check out the Cutting Through the BS podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and subscribe right now. And check out Clue Magic and Fast Pitch as they break down and cut through the BS on all the things that are going on. Tanika writes good morning all. Brenda writes happy Tuesday. Brian writes one more day. But this should be an easy day, though. I mean, the day before, like, you get a major holiday, man, those are always great days. Always great days. Hacksaw Jim Duggan writes prayers to the victim in the fallen building. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is here wearing boots and my underwear carrying long wood. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling us that. We really appreciate it. Mason Muller writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers, hashtag firsthand knowledge. Oh, you back on that one, huh? See, Mason Muller is not going to let the Republicans and the black Republican in the chop shop forget it. It looks like his goose is cooked in this sense that it'll probably go to the next phase. Like I can see Congress recommending to move forward with an impeachment inquiry. Why? Because the Democrats have a majority. And then, impeachments are largely political things. This is largely political in nature. What does that mean? It means that there's wide interpretation as to what you can be impeached about. And usually it's the opposition party that's on that impeachment kick. I mean, think about it. Bill Clinton was not impeached because he had sex in the Oval Office. He was impeached because he lied under oath about it. It's a difference. It's a big difference. Right? And then he got caught into some other things. And that's what they're hoping will happen with Trump. But I don't see it. I don't see it. If I'm a Republican senator, why would I do that? Why would I do that? And you know what? I think that partial building collapse in downtown Cincinnati, I would hope, opens a conversation on some levels about just really the safety of all of the buildings that are being constructed here in the city of Cincinnati. We see these developers, man, they can't wait to get a piece of property and they be throwing these buildings up so damn quick. Or you see buildings being demolished. I know there's a process for you just can't knock down a building, right? I'm sure there's a process to it. And then in Cincinnati, you got some really old buildings that have asbestos, back before we knew better about asbestos. A lot of people had to die. And, as I understand it, and again, I admit it, I'm very, under-knowledged on these kind of things, but I do know this, that, when you're tearing down a building, that you can release some of these chemicals, call it asbestos or whatever else. Isn't there a process to it? Who's making sure that all these developers and all these sites are being demolished correctly and that these buildings are putting up correctly? Because everybody wants to cash in on the land boom in Cincinnati. There's people, man, that have large portfolios of Cincinnati properties, and they don't even live in Cincinnati. They don't even live here. They just know there's an opportunity. And so they can't wait to knock these buildings down and put them up as cheaply as possible. Or are they using the right and proper materials? I just think it's fair to have that conversation. I'll offer and throw it up there. And the worker is still missing in the debris. That's just not good. That's just a terrible thing right there. And all you can hope is that this individual is maybe in a pocket or somewhere like that where there's air. That's all you can really hope for. So what happened was a section of temporary concrete that was a part of the formwork collapsed during a concrete pour on the 6th floor. And Turner Construction is the main contractor on the project. And they think that the missing worker is under approximately 2 to 5 feet of concrete and debris. 2 to 5 feet of concrete and debris. And this individual has been missing and presumably trapped underground for at least 19 hours. I don't know if we should be expecting. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll always leave out hope. We'll always leave out hope here on the Nathan Ivey Show. That's just a terrible situation right there. I mean, can you imagine to be essentially entombed in concrete. Yeah, that's just terrible. I don't even want to picture that. That's just terrible, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to the family there. Drop writes, good morning, Mr. Ivey. How's this Trump-Obama economy working for you? You back on that? Good morning to you. Miss Tiffany writes, morning all. Hackshaw writes, who is the white dude running against Dieters? Black Russia's in the house. He writes, good morning all middle. Sissy Tigress writes, morning all. Clue Magic writes, Ryan Finley. Yeah, that was his name, Ryan Finley. There's always a Ryan or a Tyler. Ryan. Oh, man, we'll never know whether he can really be throw or not because he never had no damn time. Every time I saw bingo highlights on YouTube, she was always getting slammed to the ground, blindsided. The coaches were wrong to put him out there, but he had his shot, though. I mean, even with that, you get a shot, that's your shot. You get a sense they put some tape out there. We'll see. Never know. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. Hacksaw writes, we been knew Diddy is a murderer. Huh? Diddy is a murderer? That's not what I'm talking about. Diddy? You talking about P. Diddy is a murderer? What are you talking about? You talking about what? Some of that East Coast, West Coast stuff? Yeah, I never heard that Diddy was a murderer. That's a new one. Now, what we found out this week about P. Diddy, who is, of course, the founder of Bad Boy, how influential do you think that P. Diddy has been on the culture? I would say greatly. I would say greatly through the fact that he brought the world the notorious B.I.G., but also what he did with Bad Boy, reality television. I mean, everybody loves these shows right now where you got people showcasing their talent. But one of the earlier shows to do it here in America was P. Diddy making a band. He put together two bands. One of them, actually got some real platinum hits, Dandy Kane. And he's also the founder of Revolt. Revolt is a music channel. I like Revolt. I mean, I was looking forward to Revolt when they kicked it off. I thought it was a great idea. Think of like MTV, only black. And what we learned this week about P. Diddy was a few things. Number one, what we learned is like P. Diddy doesn't like people talking for him. And so when P. Diddy's name was brought up as it relates to Byron Allen and his case against Comcast and Charter Communications, his name was brought up several times. So P. Diddy put out a statement this week in which he clarified. He was very clear. And his statement seemed to be lockstep with the sentiments of Byron Allen, who said that Comcast, and again, who is Comcast? I want to delve more into that. What is a Comcast? What is it? Comcast is a mass media company. We'll get into it, though. But back to P. Diddy and what we learned about him this week. Number one, P. Diddy likes to speak for himself. That's number one. Number two, P. Diddy was not happy with the arrangement that he had with Comcast. He felt as if Comcast shortchanged him, didn't really set him up to have ultimate success. Now, how's that possible? Well, okay, so Comcast is in control of your cable networks. They control what you see, who decide what market. P. Diddy saying that they were under-resourced when they kicked off, meaning that they weren't in a lot of markets. And then number two, they weren't sharing with all the big money. So if you still have cable, every time you pay your cable bill, I mean, there's several dollars that come out of your check that you send to your cable bill that goes directly to certain cable networks like ESPN. They get about $6. What's your cable bill? $60? $6 of every person's cable bill, every subscription goes straight to ESPN. That's why they're the worldwide leader in sports. Could you imagine if you're doing a cable network and you get $6 of every monthly prescription? You talking about big money. Big money. P. Diddy ain't get none of that. None of it. And it just goes to show you the differences in power and the differences in wealth. Like a lot of people look at P. Diddy and be like, damn, P. Diddy's the founder of Revolt. They got a 24-hour station. They've employed all these people. They're doing all these things. But that pales in comparison to the overall influence, power that Comcast has. It's like, yeah, you've got a cable network, but Comcast will decide what cities that you're actually in. How many people are actually going to see it? So Comcast does a lot of things, people. I mean, they do, not only do they provide your internet services, as they do for millions of people across the country, but they also create content. They create content with NBC Universal. You ever heard of DreamWorks? Ever heard of that before? Yeah, Comcast. Yeah. And they're a great reason. Again, Comcast was against net neutrality. Basically, they want to have more control, total control now of what you see, what websites you can go to, and websites you cannot go to. I mean, there's many people that would like to see Revolt, but it's not offered where they live. It is what it is. So how did Comcast get so powerful? I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how in just a minute. Again, 513-873-7134. Now, I did have some difficulties with one caller, but yesterday we didn't seem to have those issues, so I'm not sure. Not sure if you will have a problem at all. Let's see if you feel inclined to do so. I put a lot on the table here. You see, Black Russia writes, Congresswoman Lawrence sees no value in impeachment. Is that right? I read this morning in a poll that was done within the last 24 hours that 50% of the people said that they think that Trump should be impeached and that they think that he's guilty. That doesn't mean that it's a smart idea for the Republicans to do this. Thanks for the vine here. Now you have a Michigan Democrat. Her name is Brenda Lawrence. And she's a prominent supporter of Kamala Harris. And she announced on Sunday that she no longer sees any value in the process and called for her fellow Democrats to throw her support behind a symbolic censor resolution. This is a black female. Now, I've said it before that the Democrats should be paying attention to and listening to black females. You go back to 2016, despite all of the noise and the chaos and the misinformation, the fake news and the Russians, black females overwhelmingly saw through all that nonsense. And will the Democrats listen to her? I don't know. Probably not. This could be a big miscalculation. We shall see. I don't know. Tracy writes, DirecTV bill is $220 with the NFL package. Damn. Magic writes, the Bengals should deal Dalton and Green for draft picks. Go sign Teddy Football from the Saints. Draft Chase Young and keep it moving. Right, keep it moving. Yeah, I agree with Congresswoman Lawrence. I agree with her. I don't see it either. I don't see how this ends in a good way for the Democrats. But sometimes you can set a course and you got to follow it all the way out. And, it is what it is. They might have started this course right now and they can't stop now. Okay, so I'm talking about Comcast, among other things. All right, we're talking about Comcast right now because I just want to get a better idea of who they are because we've been talking about them in relationship to so many things over the last couple of weeks. And everybody's keeping their eye on the Supreme Court case. I still think there's a lot more information that needs to be brought out as to what the impact would be either way. Like, I hear Byron Allen, he's claiming it would be bad for business. Okay, I get it. I know why he's claiming that. It doesn't mean he's necessarily 100% true about that. When he says bad for business, is he talking about media companies or he talking about black businesses in general? When I've heard him talk, it seemed like he was speaking in general. So it seemed like. All right, so here's just to give you a sense of Comcast. AT&T broadband owned by Comcast. Comcast Cable Communications. You might be using Comcast right now. NBC Universal Media LLC. And Sky. Now, Sky is a British telecommunications and media conglomerate. So, this is an international mass media company. We haven't even talked about what they do in terms of the internet and providing internet services for millions upon millions upon millions of Americans who directly get their internet from Comcast. Do you? Let me see. So a black female is suggesting that Donald Trump should get away with asking another government to interfere with an American election, ? What the ? Will Republicans say, let's not investigate Barack Obama if he did the same thing? GTFOH. Well, we already know if it was Obama, the Republicans would all be in lockstep together. And even if one of them felt that way, they'd probably keep it to themselves. But that doesn't mean, and see, Mason Mueller, I don't want Donald Trump to get away with something per se. At the same time, I just don't understand how this ends with him being held accountable. It's going to go to the Senate, and the Senate is, I don't care what the evidence is. I don't care what the Lieutenant Colonel Vindman or Vogel or whoever the hell might have been there as an eyewitness. It won't matter. Because it's just like with Kavanaugh. Unless they see that it's different actually, because with Kavanaugh, had there been a smoking gun that was incontrovertible, they would have backed away from Kavanaugh. There's not going to be a smoking gun in this impeachment hearing about this stuff with the Ukraine. We heard the best that the Democrats have. And the Republican Party is still not turned by it. It doesn't really matter. It's going to go to the Senate. They're going to shoot it down. He's going to run a victory lap. All of his media people, Kellyanne, everybody's going to do a media tour. They're going to say, we told you, people out to get Donald Trump. And that's going to be the end of it. Since I work for DTV, I league pass, NFL, Sunday ticket, and an NHA packet for free. Then she writes, plus I get the top package, Premiere, free. Look at you, Pamela. You're getting all DirecTV free, huh? That's a great perk. Just think about how much money that you're saving there. You know what I'm saying? Like if you work for the cable company, man, you getting free internet, you saving $2,000, $3,000 a year. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. What's going on?
I can hear a little feedback, like a little echo in the back.
Okay, I'll try to take it out.
Okay, I appreciate it. Nate, let me ask you something. What can this president do that you think that would turn Republican heads and say right is right and wrong is wrong? Because at this point, it seems like what you're saying is they're beyond redeemable, in which I would agree. But there are obvious facts out there, Nate, that this man violated campaign laws. It looks like he tried to extort another country to interfere in an American election. This coming just 3 years after we investigated who, Nate? The Russians interfering with an American election. Now, so I don't get the whole idea, well, what will come out of this? What will come out of this, he will be the fourth man in American history to ever be impeached. And for a narcissist like Donald Trump, that has to stick in his tighty-whitey. And unlike Bill Clinton, there's actually substance behind, this guy going under a federal inquiry as far as impeachment is concerned. Now, true, Bill Clinton lied under oath about a sexual affair. This guy is lying under oath about extorting another country. This guy is lying under oath about ruining an ambassador's career because she wouldn't play along. That's an abuse of power alone. Just everybody out there, just think about this. Especially the choppers. You doing your job where you currently are right now. doing it the best you can. You've been there for years. You the best. You the boss of what you've been doing in your office space. And then you got some shadow, government like Rudy Giuliani and, and the Fox Newses and the drops and the, and the Sean Hannity just make up some complete bullshit. Oh, excuse me, Nate. Some complete BS that's just going to ruin your career. What are you supposed to do? Just sit back and take that L? It seems like that's what people are saying. I told you from day one, Nate, that this is different from the Mueller report because all these things are happening in true time. And there's even more coming out. Now there's Devin Nunes. He's mixed up in trying to, he's on the Intel committee and he's meeting with this Parnas guy, the two guys with Rudy Giuliani. And guess what he's doing? He's the new Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's telling everything. And Nate, he's already released audio tapes, video. He got him palling around with Rudy sitting in some lounge somewhere. He got, recordings. He got multiple pictures of him and Donald Trump together. So, again, Nate, I hear what you're saying, man, but I'm asking, at what point do we hold people accountable? This goes back to when we had the conversation when Fanon Rucker came out, and I hope you remember this, and we were talking about Gabe Davis. And remember, you were asking, people were saying, and rightfully so, well, I'm not just going to vote for the guy because he's black. I need to know, the substance of, his judicial process. And I was saying, that's right. And then we had other people overwhelmingly say that I want a prosecutor that's going to treat the white suspects the same way he treats the black suspects. Do you remember that? That was like the number one thing, treat everybody equally and fairly.
Right.
And again, Nate, if any of these things, a fraction of the stuff that this man has done, if Barack Obama had done it, he'd be out of office right now. You know it and I know it, man. So that's the frustrating part. I mean, when do these people get held accountable?
Well,
again, the Republicans are gone, Nate. I mean, they got Jim Jones Kool-Aid. They drinking the Four Loko Jim Jones. They way gone. So this Congress, I completely, I don't know if she's saying it because she's in Michigan. I don't know. She might be in, like Montgomery, Blue Ash area. I don't know. But what she says makes no sense. And again, I just think it's about accountability, man. That's my number one argument.
Well, this congresswoman is in Michigan. She's in Michigan.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Nate.
Can't hear me at all, huh? Not sure why you can't hear me. But yeah, he hung up. Veterans. Not sure. I'll work on that on my end. Let me double check my connections here. Looking good. Man, looking good. But what was I saying? He asked me why. I'm trying to answer your question and go backwards in my head as to what you asked me. So here's what he said. When do they get held accountable? Well, they get held accountable in 2020, in November of 2020, when we go to the ballot box. That's when you held the Trump administration accountable. A one-term president wants to be a second-term president. If Donald Trump is a one-term president, that sends a great message to him, to the country, to the world, that his way of doing things have been rejected. I don't put any stake, just like I told you about the Mueller investigation. I told you what was going to happen with the Mueller investigation. I told you it was not going to be a Perry Mason moment where they take Donald Trump out in leg irons. That's not going to happen. And I'm telling you now, I don't see why. I'm trying to put myself in the place of a Republican senator. Why would I vote against Donald Trump or for Donald Trump to be impeached? Why? Why? Won't that make me vulnerable for when I come up for re-election, for the Trumpsters to remember it and take it out on me? Yes. And then two, I might not like him, but he's the leader of our party, which gives us more power, more ability to set our agenda. Why would I vote against him? That's a better question than, to me, that's the question that needs to be answered. Why would they do it? And I don't see any reason why. It's not about politeness, Glenn. In my opinion, it's not about standards. It's not about right and wrong. It's about politics. People are like, oh, something's going to come out about Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to finally see what he is. They already know what he is. That's not the issue. The issue is, can he get too hot or so toxic that it might affect them in the future and what they want to do? And so far, no. All those Republican senators rolled with him when he went through Mueller, didn't they? None of them jumped off board, did they? Partly because they knew Mueller's mandate was limited, so there was nothing to be afraid of. And the other part is, okay, so what? So, Glenn, I mean, to me, this is not about right and wrong and try to hold them accountable. Despite what happened to Barack Obama, we're not going to be able to go back and do to Trump what happened to Obama because that was a different time. That's over with. It's about politics. That's it. Again, I don't care what Donald Trump does. Nothing's going to happen to him until he comes out of office. Once he gets back in office, he becomes a private citizen. And Donald Trump is about that life. He's about that going to court life. That's what he do. But everybody knows that if you got money in America, you can fight anything. You know that. If you've got enough money in America, you can use that money with the legal system to bully other people, to bully your way around, to stonewall, to stall. And guess what? Donald Trump has that kind of money. So, Glenn, I don't see this ending with Donald Trump being impeached, even if he is. I don't see it. I don't see it. I would say there's like a 95% chance. I would say 99% chance that these Republican senators, they're going to sit there and say, okay. They're going to listen to the evidence just like they did with Kavanaugh. Like, yeah. And they're going to find some ways out of it that work for them. I don't really see enough evidence here, and we're going to move on. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to say, well, I hear what you're saying, but they got the aid. The Ukraine got the aid. So, nah. But that's just my thoughts. What are yours? 513-873-7134. We've been talking about numerous things, including Comcast. We learned some things about this week on P. Diddy. Number one, P. Diddy likes to speak for himself. And number two, P. Diddy is not happy with his business relationship with Comcast. And it just really calls into question the way the larger community does business with minority-owned businesses in general. So the question is, then, if it was such a bad deal, then why did P. Diddy go into it? That's the other question. Like P. Diddy's arguing of that, oh, yeah, Byron Allen's right and Comcast was less than a fair deal. Then why'd you go into it, Mr. Smart Businessman? You didn't have to buy Revolt. You didn't have to get into the internet, to the video game. You didn't have to do that. He chose to do it, so it must be something in it. Or maybe sometimes you go into things thinking they're going to be one way, they turn to be another way. I don't know. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, and Brady in the hunt for the NFL, huh? TNT writes, it will be a miscalculation if they don't impeach. They will set a dangerous precedent that the executive branch is above the law, and they are not. The obstruction of justice happening out of the White House is outright defiance. Whether Republicans grow a spine and develop a conscience is not the issue. History will show their partisan value and will lose credibility. Each who vote for party over country will eventually be held accountable for supporting a reality TV con artist. Broadway Flo writes, during slavery, who told the young bulls to chill out and don't ruffle masses' feather? ? Yep, you guessed it. Black females and old Negroes. Ironically, they are the most loyal Democrats. Did you know that? ? Oh, yeah, good morning. Hashtag alt-middle, Ayatollah stand up. Shout out drop. It was the black females and old Negroes. Drop writes, Trump has a 90% approval rating with the Republican Party. Impeach 45 in 2025. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin writes, a monkey is on the line. Go find something to do until the monkey is done. What? Brian writes, there's a smoking gun. The Republicans keep playing hot potato with it and passing it around and hiding it. The smoking gun was Trump's confession on the phone transcripts with Ukraine's president, LOL. Brian, listen, I'm with you. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you I've watched every minute of it like I did OJ or something like that, but I have watched probably more. I've watched enough to know what's going on. I've got a good understanding of the working evidence. I've got a good understanding of what Trump's defense have been. And I have a really good understanding of what all of the witnesses said when they came in over the last few weeks. And to me, it looks like Trump is guilty. I'll say it again. It looks like he slipped on a banana peel. It was Trump being Trump. It got him in trouble. I totally agree with it. But so what? You know, there's no sex involved. It's pretty boring. I will make this point about just human interactions because this show's about many things. People, politics, and pleasure. I like to talk about people. And I could be wrong about this observation. I could be misapplying this, but the principles beyond it, the foundation of what I'm going to tell you, I feel pretty strongly about. So, you know, just observing things and also being old enough and being in different environments and scenarios, what I can tell you is that, and maybe you've been in a situation like this. This might even be you or you know what I'm talking about. This goes for high school. Anytime human beings get around, you can observe something like this. But, you know, there are people out there that who will allow themselves to be bullied. There are people out there that will allow themselves to be bullied. They'll allow themselves to even be pushed around. There are people out there that I've seen this many times, male and female. There are people out there that will allow themselves to be bullied. Do you agree with me? There are people out there that, you know, will allow you to do certain things to them. And they'll just, it's not that they like it, but they ain't going to snap on you. You can take that very same person and let's say a relative is involved or somebody that they care about is involved. And somebody try to snap on them in the same manner that this hypothetical person has already been observed to accept. And that person in defense of somebody else will do what they'll turn into a raving lunatic madness, just lose it on you. It's people like that. There's people like that when it comes to them, they'll let it go a little bit. When it comes to certain other people, it could be a family member, their child. It could be somebody that's a close personal friend. They'll lose it on you in a second. They'll snap on you. Be like, what? There are certain people that just because of the way they carry themselves, they just garner certain respect, certain loyalty. You ever been on the job and there's somebody there that's really, really nice and they do their job. They don't F with nobody. They ain't mess with nobody. And then you see people messing with them. What happens to you? It make you mad at a motherfucker, don't it? Because you want to protect them because you know they cool. That's how I look at this Ambassador Yamanovich. I think she was one of those people that got a lot of respect in certain circles because she did her job and maybe she was a good patriot and maybe she was doing it the right way. Like I said, when you're on a job or in a certain environment and you see somebody and they trying to do the right thing and then people effing with them, what happens? It make you want to defend them. Because I was trying to figure out, like, what would make these are Trump administration appointees and Trump administration officials. What would make them do this? Why would this whistleblower come forward? Why? And I think that's what it is. I'm spitballing. Here's my theory. My theory is I think this Ambassador Yamanovich, the one who was just so rudely dealt with, I think she must have had the respect of her community. She must have been doing her job. And so when they saw her get played like that, somebody was like, oh, hell no, I got to do something. Because that's how human beings act sometimes. Believe it or not. Human beings will do that. Human beings will drop a dime to protect somebody else, even when if it was them in the same situation, they wouldn't even say anything. Do you believe that? Have you observed that? Tell me I'm wrong. It just is my observations. I'm trying to figure out whistleblower, the age of Trump. And then I watched this woman. I saw the respect she get. I think she was probably one of them people that was doing a job. She was a patriot, foreign diplomat. Democrat, Republican made no difference. It was the agenda of America that mattered to her on her job. And when they saw that she got played by Trump and was treated so rudely, and they saw what was happening, they was like, "Oh hell no!" That's what I think. That's what I think. And there's people like that in certain workplaces where they about their job, they don't bother nobody, they just do their thing. People see they get played, they like, "Oh hell no!" It's just a theory. Let's see. Cincy Tigers writes, are y'all taking new members? I strongly nominate Drop. He wants it. Drop wants to be in so bad. Drop, I've known you wanted to be alt middle from the beginning, brother. I've already known. Mike Jones writes, good morning, choppers. Black Russia writes, black registered voters supported Trump. Oh, okay. Ray writes, impeachment, yes. Removal, a whole different story. Vote for your hearing from the overseer. I'm not sure what that is. Lamar Jackson dropped. His season is more impressive. Okay, they're talking about sports. Mike Jones writes, the racist in chief obviously was caught, and what kind of precedent would be set if we let this con get away with it? Yeah, I mean, I get it. But I mean, let's be honest here. They could have let this shit go. I mean, it's wrong and all, but, you know, there's stuff that Trump has done legally that's 10 times wronger than this. Like locking up these children from south of the border, right? Because their parents are trying to escape violence and who knows what. That's far worse in terms of morals. I get it. He's using the power of the office to try. I get it. I think it's wrong. If Obama did it, Obama would be wrong. I get it, but you know, I think he was more wrong. I don't know if he was more wrong. I mean, the one argument is that if you let Trump get away with it this time, he's going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or the next time he's going to ask for it, but he's just not going to allow it to be recorded. So being a president's got to be a pain in the ass. Everything they do is recorded. Every tweet is recorded. Every tweet that Donald Trump tweets is going to be in the National Archives until the end of the world. Did you know that? All the communications of every president, the text messages, everything, phone calls, all of that stuff is documented and kept. All a part of the record. Did you know that? That shit would be a pain in the ass, wouldn't it? Damn. Tracy writes, no, back up here. Black Russia writes, Trump is winning. Tracy writes, Trump doesn't want to be reelected. I wholeheartedly believe that. He is going to keep working on this fake illness so he can be unfit from office. Hashtag clown ass. Okay. We shall see. Nate, then why even have an impeachment process? Just let presidents do anything they want. They are above the law from what they're saying. There are some, primarily like Stephen Miller and others, some of these so-called, conservative intellectuals who tried to make the argument that Trump is, in fact, above the law. And I don't believe he is. If anybody who should be under the thumb of the law, it should be the president of the United States. But Pamela, all I'm saying is think this out logically. Let's think this through the next year. So the Democrats want this to be a political spectacle in 2020. Let's be real with that. Despite you might be a registered Democrat, it don't matter. Okay, let's be real here. Impeachment hearings are largely political processes, usually brought by the opposition party to get rid of, to embarrass, or to injure a president that's in turn, or a president who you feel like needs to be removed for whatever reason. Okay? We're in 2020. We understand the way impeachment process works. The Congress will go through the House of Congress, and then it'll go to the Senate, the House of Congress, or to go through the House of Representatives and to go to the Senate. Okay? Because Congress is, of course, both chambers it's both chambers. Okay, I get that. It gets to the Senate. Now the various men and women, primarily white, male, and rich and wealthy, very little diversity, but the various men and women who comprise the U.S. Senate will now act as the jury. Okay? As we currently sit here, and it's a simple majority rules. As we currently sit here, the Democrats do not have a majority. The Republicans have a majority in the in the U.S. Senate. Okay? So, Pamela, think about this. We've seen all kinds of what you might call troubling, curious, disgusting, repugnant, immoral behavior from Donald Trump. And yet the Republican Party has never left his back. Why would they now, during an election year, vote to impeach the leader of their party? Tell me why they would do this. And it's got to be deeper than morality. It's got to be deeper than right and wrong. It would have to be something that would affect them for them to do that. So I hold out that there is something hypothetically that would fit that description, whatever we think that might be. I just can't conceivably come up with it right now. Based upon what I've already seen. What I've already seen is that it doesn't matter what Trump says. It doesn't matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter what he tweets. It doesn't matter who he attacks. They're going to roll with him until the ride ends. And that's what I see them doing. So you go through the impeachment. We get all this information that comes out. It goes to a vote. Republican majority. They vote to not impeach Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is not impeached. The process ends. And then we're left to do what? We're left to do what then? We're left in the same place we are now. It's my theory that if you're a Trump supporter, it doesn't matter. After these last 2 weeks, you're still a Trump supporter. And if you weren't a Trump supporter, then after these last couple of weeks, you're not a Trump supporter. And that's just the way I think it is. But what do you think? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
What's going on?
Man, I just agree with you this morning. I wanted to say so. The impeachment process is a political process. It ain't changing the hearts and minds of the American people, obviously. The only way that the Democrats are going to be able to stop this president is if they win an election. And that's what theoretically, that's what it's getting to the point of they need to be concentrating on finding the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2020. All this impeachment stuff is just a distraction from that. And Donald Trump's going to campaign on it. That's what I'm saying. It's like you giving the guy the gun to kill you with. He does chaos. This is what he do, and it's like it works for him. And so the Democrats are going to blow it, bro. The more I see it, the more I hear. Like Brenda Lawrence, I got that article I posted. Now she's in a safe Democratic district. It used to be Conyers seat, so she's going to be cool. But the reality is, she's saying what a lot of people on the Republican side are saying in terms of she's trying. Well, let me say it like this: she's trying to stop the Democratic Party from killing itself politically. Because that's exactly what's going on here. The more they keep talking about impeach this president is corrupt. Let the American people decide. That's what they really need to do.
Again,
and they're not concentrating. They're not concentrating on that.
Well, I think that they can chew gum and walk at the same time. But again, logically, I don't see how this ends in some big win for the Democrats with this impeachment thing. And then the whole, it's not really a sexy situation too. Like, I don't think that unless you're a hardcore political person, you watch news anyway, I don't think you're really super into the Ukraine thing. That's just me.
Right. I agree with you. I don't, it's the ultimate inside baseball with a president, maybe perhaps using international aid to hold, to sway a country to do what he wanted him to do. I mean, that's called politics. It's like, do I owe, let's say it like this. Does Donald Trump owe anybody a meeting? I'm going to say no. He don't have to meet with Ukraine. He said, if you investigate Joe Biden, basically, you can get this aid and maybe I'll give you a meeting at the White House. What's inherently wrong with that? Number one, it'd be a question. But then number two, how does that translate into votes?
Well, I think there's something inherently wrong with it, though. I think what he did was wrong because he's trying to do it for his own personal reasons. Like if he was trying to leverage it for the larger interests of the American, for the United States, whatever our agenda is, that's different than him trying to leverage the power to go against Biden. That's what his problem was.
It's politics. I mean, we see this every day. We see political agendas, being fought through policy all the time.
Yeah, but not a personal political agenda. That's what I'm saying that the difference is with Trump. It was personal. Go after Biden because statistically he's going to be my toughest opponent. Let's go get some dirt on him. If he was saying, like I said, if he was if he had leverage for broader U.S. strategy, you're right. That's politics. Do what you got to do.
But you're saying because he's running an election and using it for his own political purpose of beating Biden, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the crux of the issue is. Yeah, you trying to hold up military aid, which is a part of the U.S. foreign policy with the Ukraine, because of your personal political beef with a man who you think is going to be your opponent. That's wrong. That's 20 times wrong. That's like
By whose standard is that wrong, though? I think that's and again.
Well, it's like by anybody's standard, man. It's like a police officer. Like if a police officer is trying to, investigate a crime and he wants to use police databases to try to get information on potential suspects, that's cool. But if the police officer wants to use the database to look up the information because he's looking up, maybe he's in a love triangle kind of situation and some lady he like is dating somebody else. So now you want to use police time and police resources to look up this guy. That's wrong.
I don't know if that's a good example because we're talking about using police. Well, you talking about using databases when he's talking about holding up aid. Hey, you go investigate Biden. Well, I'll give you this aid. But also another part of it is I'll have a meeting with you. So like, what's wrong with him saying I ain't gonna meet with you unless you investigate Joe Biden?
Again,
that's part of it too.
Again, I think that's less wrong than holding up the aid, but I still think it's wrong because it's not based upon a broader U.S. strategy. Like if you're doing this because this is our U.S. foreign policy, cool. But if you're doing this because you got a personal beef that has nothing to do with the broader strategy just for you, I think that's wrong.
Well, I guess in terms of you said the meeting's less wrong. So I guess you're saying there's levels to it as well. I just want to make sure I understand the perspective of what people are trying to say. Because I hear everybody say, oh, what he's doing is wrong. I mean, personally, I'm looking at this stuff like maybe it's blurred lines. I don't necessarily see what he's doing as being wrong. I see it as, this is politics. So like Joe Biden, probably going to be his opponent. All right, dig up some dirt on Joe Biden. This is what politicians do. I mean, they dig up dirt all the time. It's
weaponizing U.S. foreign policy for your own personal gain. And I think that's the problem with it. That is the problem with it. Like, again, the Democrats would have no argument if he was leveraging it for the broader U.S. strategy. You're right. That's international politics. Leveraging is a part of it. But you can't leverage the resources and the access given to you because you were elected to be the president against your political adversary. I mean, that's Nixonian.
But is it though? Nixon was. We're talking about a straight breaking and entering, burglary. We're not talking about anything on that level. Nixon sent people into a building at the end of the dead middle of the night to get information out the DNC. This is not that. And I think people, when he started trying to compare it to Nixon, that's when you start losing people. It's
okay. Bad comparison. I take it away if it's going to take us off of what we were talking about earlier. But I still believe that what he did was wrong.
Go ahead. Well, and you're entitled to that opinion. And I'm not even saying that people out here, the Democrats, don't necessarily. Democrats out here agree with you. But the question becomes, what's the best course of action? And I don't know if impeachment, it just emboldens the president. I saw Kellyanne Conway on Sunday. These folks are unfazed because they know the end game. They know that you ain't going to find 67 senators that convict. So, like you said earlier, once that happens, the Republicans going to just rev it up like win, and then it becomes a black eye to the Democrats because what was all this for? Just to embarrass this president? What was the end game?
And I agree. What is the end game? Like, how does it benefit you as a Democrat Party for the Senate to ultimately exonerate Donald Trump right before the election? Right, because that's what's going to happen, and everybody knows it. Because it's about counting the votes too. He's going to get exonerated. He's going to go out here and campaign. You see these dumb Democrats, they tried to impeach me and the Senate exonerated me. They can't, and he'll say because they can't win an election.
And I mean, to some points of that, it's looking like to be true because I keep looking at this Democratic field, and it's just like, man, and then Michael Bloomberg being in, it's like millionaires and billionaires think they can just above the rules. If he wanted to run for president, he should have did that last year. Like, to say I want to target Virginia and all these purple states, that don't do nothing for the primary. You know you got to go to Iowa and New Hampshire to win in order to be credible. It's like watching a slow car crash with the Democratic Party, trying to find somebody to beat this president.
Well, we shall see.
I think Brenda Lawrence identified something that I think you're saying. Like, yo, you know, what is the end game? What are we looking to do? Are we looking to, at the end of the day, exonerate the president? Because that's what's going to happen. And he's going to say, see, nothing's wrong with what I did. And that's what I'm saying. The American people are ultimately going to have to decide whether he was wrong. You know, it's just one of these scenarios where I keep scratching my head with the Democratic Party. It's like you're going to just blow it again. But, you know, those are my thoughts. I just, you know, people I just keep saying, oh, they keep screaming, he's wrong. And it's like, okay, well, you can say that, but the reality is that going to be so? Is that a campaign platform? He's wrong. I mean, how do you think you beat Trump?
Somebody says it's called checks and balances.
It's called checks and balances, but he ain't being checked though. This is what I'm saying. You know, all that sounds good. It's checks and balances. We can't let him get away with it, but like you identified earlier, what's the end game? I mean, there's still not going to be no accountability. They saying that the process of impeachment is the accountability itself. I mean, the accountability is in the conviction and levying accusations. Anybody can do that, and Democrats need to be worried about who their nominee going to be instead of worried about what Trump doing day to day, because obviously the American people are cool with it.
All right, Black Russia, appreciate the flows, man.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Black Russia. Das Vidanya. Come on, some Das Vida. Das Vidanya. And I ain't even saying it right. Somebody writes that, what was the name of the cement company here? I think that was Cincy Tigress. She said that they're going to have some issues. They had some violations, I'm reading. The Baker Cement Company is done. Multiple OSHA, that's OSHA, that's an acronym, OSHA violations nationwide. They will be found negligent in this situation. Somebody's about to get paid. You know, unfortunately, that's because it looks like somebody lost their life, man. I mean, that is just not a good way to go, being buried under debris and wet cement. Just not good at all. I mean, I don't even want to imagine that. And that's why it's taking us so long for them to go back, because, you know, the cement is going to harden. And I just hope that perhaps there was an air pocket or something like that underneath. And I know it's a long shot, man. I mean, that's just not good. Not good. Not sure who's caught in there. But there's a worker who's still missing. And it looks like this worker is under 3 to 5 feet of concrete. And I just can't imagine 3 feet of concrete, let alone 5 feet of concrete on top of you. Is it wrong to show? I see now that they're showing the image of the actual site. Is it wrong to show the image of the site knowing that there's someone's loved one trapped underneath, probably dead? Is that wrong? I see many images of the potential site. I talked to the wifey. The hell? I just heard voices. I'm like, what the hell? Wow. I don't know. Should the media even be showing these images? As I said earlier, I felt some kind of way about it. Like, this is somebody's loved one. Somebody went to work that day thinking, I got a couple days until the end of the holiday. Somebody's Thanksgiving is not going to be good because of this accident. Not a good thing, man. Array writes, again, you're being logical. I am fully aware. You're talking civics. They're taking orders from a dictator. It's all by design. Trump is just a vessel. However, the Dems can meet, greet, and hearing us to death. And unless the constitutionalists get their hands out their pocket, not much will be done. Broadway writes, the Democrats gave up 2020 a long time ago. Impeachment was a Hail Mary. It's interesting way to put it. I disagree with you. I really think it's too early. I really do. I mean, a lot of people are saying like, okay, Joe Biden's got the numbers, but he may not have the enthusiasm level. He may not garner that kind of enthusiasm, that hope. He may not inspire people the way Obama did, right? So if Joe Biden is the nominee, there's people who are saying it's an automatic lose. And what I would say is, despite what we say here early, let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens when the Democrats, let's see who comes out of this thing from the Democrat side, number one. And then once that happens and it becomes a two-person race, the dynamics might change. We never know. The dynamics might change. No matter, again, let's say it's Elizabeth Warren, right? Maybe the dynamics might change once it becomes a two-person race. So I'm going to take a wait and look approach. I'm not going to jump to any assumptions about the Democrat candidates not winning. I'm not going to do that. Because for me, and I genuinely mean this, it's just way too early for me. I don't know enough yet. I do know this, that Julian Castro, and if you are a black voter in particular, this is something that you might want to pay attention to. I am going to post a link here so you can follow along with the things that we're talking about. And I would invite you to do the same thing if you come across something during the show and you just want to bring it to our attention. You never know. I prep for a lot of different things. And then sometimes, I can deliver some solid thoughts, something for you to maybe bounce your thoughts off of if you post a link. You never know. You never know. So Julian Castro, who actually, my impression of him is good. I'll say I have a good impression of Julian Castro. Generally speaking, through this whole presidential thing, things I've read, different media interviews that I've seen him do, I have a favorable opinion of him. But what do you think? What do you think? Julian Castro was the former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and he was the mayor of San Antonio. He is the only Latino candidate in the hodgepodge of choices available. Again, I'm reading directly from the article, and you can check it out for yourself. And he didn't meet the criteria set for the November debate. Here's my question. Who sets the criteria for presidential candidates for the Democrat Party? Is this something that the party does behind closed doors? Or, and perhaps this is rhetorical, is this something that's done openly, with Democrats to determine nationwide what should be the criteria to allow you to be a part of the televised debate? So he wasn't on the debates. We'll see in November. We'll see what happens in December. And now Julian Castro is saying that he has the quote unquote strongest vision for black voters. He says he has the strongest vision for black voters. Really? When he was asked by the Griot, why should black voters believe that you, there's actually a typo here by the Griot. Why should black voters believe that you can beat Donald Trump is how it should read, but it does not. But anyway, Julian Castro responded, I have the strongest vision for the future of our country when it comes to black voters, especially when we're talking about investments. We need to make it better. We need to make in better educational opportunities when so many schools need tremendous improvement. I haven't been afraid to take on issues that just about every other candidate doesn't want to touch, like police reform, to do it in a blunt and truthful way because it needs to be done. I wasn't afraid to take on the issue of reparations, even though some people said, hey, just leave that alone. I've laid out a plan for how we're going to make sure that lead is no longer a public, that lead is no longer a public health threat. Okay. So when he was the mayor of San Antonio, what did he do for African Americans? That would be the best way to determine as to whether Julian Castro should be taken seriously when he says he's got the strongest agenda for Black America, right? Black folks live in San Antonio. I know Black folks that live in San Antonio. I know there's Black people in San Antonio. So I would like to know if you know someone, perhaps you live in San Antonio. I'm going to search a little bit and see if we can't find it. That's interesting. It's very interesting. And I'm wondering, are there any specifics? Julian, I'm going to go to his campaign website right now. Anything specific? Julian Castro or JulianForTheFuture.com. That's its website. Let's see here. Okay. This site, the news. Let me see. I want to see issues. Let me see what issues are so important. Policy proposals. Equality for people with disabilities. First chance plan. Children first plan for foster care. Empower workers with unions for all. Justice for farm workers. Dignity for domestic workers. Economic plan for working families. I'm on this website and, okay, indigenous communities, policing, okay, lead. Yeah, I'm on the site. I don't see anything that specifically is like, this is my Black agenda or here's what I think is what we need for African Americans. It's kind of blended in here. Like, is lead an issue in our neighborhoods? Sure it is. Sure it is. But it ain't the only issue. It is not the only issue. You got a lot of issues out there. Policing, immigration. Again, policing is not just a Black issue. Black voters we deserve inspiration on a multitude of issues. Like the policing thing is a no-brainer right there. When a candidate speaks about, how they feel about the relationship between Black communities and law enforcement, to me, I take that as a given. I mean, the relationship that our community, that the Black community has with law enforcement, we already know what that is. We know those are facts. We know what's going on here. So anybody that comes out on the opposite of that is automatically off the charts. But I'm here to say that I think that Black voters' issues are far deeper and broader than that. Let's get to the money. Let's get to the bag. What are you going to do to help Black people get to the bag, period? That's what it comes down to. Get to the bag, man. That's what it's all about. Equality for people with disabilities. Interesting. I will post a link and you can post it. Well, I'll take it back here. I don't need to do that, but I will. If you want to follow along, check it out for yourself. I don't know. That when I hear about these candidates, I go to their websites and I want to see what's so important to them. I want to see how they rank it. I want to see what's the top issue, because those top issues are the issues that you, at the top of the page, those are the ones you really want people to see, because a lot of people are not going to scroll down. So to me, it just tells me something about a candidate. Sometimes I feel as if I can glean information. I'm sure you feel the same way. Cam writes, pink people in a plastic bag being crushed by buildings. See, there you go, man. You dead wrong for that, Cam. I don't even know what the color or the race or ethnicity is of the workers. It makes no difference to me, man. I'm a humanist. We all human at the end of the day. And the suffering and pain of anybody doesn't help me and my family. It doesn't help our communities, to me, Cam. That's just me. I don't, death is death, family, pain, white or Black. I mean, just think about it. Somebody is white or Black or green or whatever. Somebody's family member is not going to be there for Thanksgiving. Yo, think about that, Cam. That's real, though. We're talking about real life, man. So that's how I look at it, Cam. That's just me. Can't tell you how to feel, brother, but again, as I sit here right now, I have a lot of emotion welling up in me right now because I just feel for that family. And I don't know what their race is. And it makes no difference to me. I mean, Christmas around the corner, you know, people thinking about getting together with their loved ones. Imagine you get a phone call saying that something terrible happened to a loved one. Somebody you was bringing the macaroni. They bringing the macaroni. They bring macaroni every Thanksgiving. Now they're not going to be there. That's terrible, man. That's just terrible. Condolences to the family if, in fact, that's appropriate. I'm just holding out that maybe in a miracle or something that this worker can be found alive. Karamia writes, good people, it's a great morning. Yes, it is. They on their smartphones hashtagging lazing protesting by protesting nonetheless. Cincy Tigers writes, Cam, I understand, but have some empathy. How would your family and friends feel if you were underneath that heavy cement? Not figuratively, metaphorically, or otherwise, literally, right? I mean, that's how you got to look at it, bro. I mean, family is family. You know what I'm saying? Across the board, everybody has somebody that loves them. And it's the holiday, whether you believe in Thanksgiving and all that kind of stuff, because I'll be honest with you. But I just look at it as a chance to get together with the family and to fellowship. The food, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really into Thanksgiving food like that. And the reason why is because I'm not in the mood for it. Like, if I want turkey, I might eat turkey year round. You know, I eat dressing when I feel like eating dressing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I make potato salad when I want it. I don't just do it for the Thanksgiving. So there was a time in my life when I'm like, oh man, I've got to smash, but I've smashed enough. I've gotten enough. It's good. I'm gonna get a little something here or there. I'll be cool. Some people really go hard with the thing. I can't wait to get the turkey. Oh, I'm gonna pig out. Yeah, go do that. Have your fun. I did that already. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, have your fun, get the leftovers, not like some leftovers, man. You got leftovers for a whole week, man. I've done it. I'll do it again. This year, probably scale it back a bit. Probably scale it back a bit. I ain't really going super, super hard, at least in terms of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Because a brother can do a little something. Yeah, I shocked the wife when we first got together. She was like, oh my goodness gracious, and you cooking food? What? Damn. Oh, yeah. Let me see, but have fun, though. Have fun. Plenty of families are under the wet cement of gentrification down there. I speak and feel for them. Can we all speak and feel for them, bro? But I don't know, man. I mean, we all human. You know, we all human. I can empathize most certainly. Because I just say, look, I've lost people before. So I know what that feels like. It's devastating. Nothing brings them back. You can cry on your knees. I did all of that, begging God, mad at God, bring them back, say something. You do all that stuff as a young person, you lose somebody. I did all of that. Nothing happened. I haven't seen any ghosts or anything. Objects haven't moved in the room when I come back and it's a sign from my grandparents. None of that's happened. You know what I'm saying? They set us up pretty good. They helped us be successful. They set us up for success. I appreciate that. Nate, you look like you might be able to burn in the kitchen. I'm good at anything that I put my mind to, quite honestly, if I want to be honest with you. That's what I found about me. It's the Virgo in me. So I have certain dishes, and you know, when you got that in your heart, and when you're cooking for your family and you're cooking for your wife or a woman that you really want to make sure that she's happy, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And the Virgo comes out of me. So, you know, I try to follow the instructions to the detail, and I like to stand there in the kitchen. I don't walk away from the food and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I grew up old school, so I got a couple dishes. I ain't like super kitchen man and cooking and all that. That's not me. But I got a few dishes that I'm known for. I got a few dishes here, like every man. Mason Marleray's Public Enemy said it best. Yet our best trained, best educated, best equipped, best prepared troops refuse to fight. As a matter of fact, it's safe to say they would rather switch than fight. Well, it wasn't Public Enemy. That was actually Martin Luther King, and they had took that. I don't even know what that speech is from, but that's classic right there. Classic. How many of our people have construction contracts down there? Cam, I don't know, man. Probably not enough. If I had control over it, it would be a lot higher. But again, I don't wish death and mayhem on anybody. I don't wish that on anybody. Is this the Baker Company was caught on the carpet for being a pass-through and many violations? Is that right? I don't know. Plenty. Cam writes, where is the media outcry for them, for the families under the wet cement of gentrification? Well, the one thing is they're still alive, though, Cam. That's all I would say. But I do believe that God can do anything, so I can hold out hope too, Nate. Yeah, I'm holding out hope for this person. I mean, because again, terrible. This person may have a child. You telling me that we don't need babies being brought up without their mom and dad? We don't need that. Nobody in our community is going to be in a better place because there's going to be one more orphan child out there. If, in fact, that's what happens. I'm telling you, I'm very emotional about this. I may have to take a time out. I just hate to see human suffering, especially when it's my people. You already know. That burns me up real quick, but I hate to see that. I really do. Hope it all turns out. Cam writes, I digress. Cry a river. You ain't got no chill this morning, man. You ain't got no chill? You got no chill for this family, yo? I don't know, man. I guess I'm different. I'm talking about, on a more serious tip, we're talking, well, not a more serious tip, but in terms of a national conversation, Julian Castro, who you might see on TV in December. In November, he didn't qualify, to be a part of the debates. And I don't even know what the qualifications are offhand. I think you have to get, I'm sorry, I just can't call it, but it's a combination of two things. He has to get so many individual donations. It's not about the amount of money per se. And again, if somebody has more information and you are more informed on this particular flow, please let me know, because I like to put out accurate information. But I think he has to get so many individual donations from people who are donating from his campaign every single month, right? Because then that shows that there's enough interest out there. It's not necessarily about the total, because if that was the case, I'm sure that all these presidential candidates have rich people that would drop a lot of money in there if it was just that simple. It's not that simple. And that's why it's really important. It's another thing that you can do during this time. If there is a candidate that you support, you should send them a donation, because it does a couple of things. Number one, money for their campaign. And if you believe in them, then you want to help them get their message out. Well, then, two, it helps them to qualify for these prerequisites that were set up by the Democrat National Committee and the people that govern the nationally televised debates. So if you support Julian Castro, or you support Pete Buttigieg, or you support Kamala Harris, or you support Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden, send them a donation. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be the smaller. You can send them $5. But you just sending them a donation is going to help them reach the qualifiers so they can be on TV over the next few months, which is going to be uber necessary if they're going to actually get enough national attention to continue on and be a serious contender. So I don't know if you've already done it or not, or if you knew that, but I'll throw it out there. Black Russia writes, Cam is a savage. He writes, people die every day, B. Okay, man. All right. I'm not here to correct any grown person. I mean, it is what it is. I just want to make sure people know how I feel. I want to make sure people know, not that I'm trying to separate myself from you or anything like that. I'm just saying I want people to know how I feel about it. For me, I've got empathy for this worker. Listen, I mean, these are hard work. It's hard-working people all over the city that's doing dangerous jobs, black, white, and whatever, male and female. It's people that's doing jobs right now where some debris or something could collapse, or these are blue-collar, hard-working people. You know, maybe I'm sympathetic because my grandfather he was a construction worker. He might have been in a situation like that. He had a couple of run-ins here or there. Yeah, almost broke his back. At one point, I was told before I was born, and had so much back pain, he had to stand up straight and go to sleep. Now, you know that you got tremendous back pain when you stand up to sleep because of the pain. Apparently, he endured this for a little while before he had surgery, but something happened on the job as a construction worker. I think he was up on a ladder, and somebody didn't see him or something like that, if the story goes. I have to ask my uncle, because I'm sure he can remember it. My uncle now has become the repository of the oral history of our family, right? It is what it is. Perhaps that'll be a venerated position that I'll hold one time as an elder in our family. But for now, it's him. I go to him like, hey, you remember this? He remembers everything. It might be my little brother, man. My little brother is, he's a little younger than me. And he's got a great memory, man. We think he has total recall. Great memory. Mason Muller writes, stop lying. Here are the facts. In raw terms, Trump added the second most debt of any recent president, according to the Treasury data. The U.S. added, okay, I appreciate that. You're right. It has quadrupled, or it's been, the U.S. deficit is huge now. And the Republicans don't talk about it. And that's because it's a ticking time bomb for the next Democrat president. So if Trump is not reelected in 2020, look for in 2021, look for the Republicans to return to their conversations about being hawks for the deficit and we can't spend any money and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Let me see here. Baker Company. Look up at this Baker Company real quick. Baker Company. What is that? You said they were a pass-through company, Iris? Is it a cement company? A pass-through company is a company that on paper appears to be black-owned or minority-owned, and it's really not. It's really majority-owned, but they're trying to qualify for either some special considerations by being minority-owned. There was a big and highly publicized case of just a case just like that. We had a majority-owned company, and it was using what appeared to be this minority-owned company as a pass-through to qualify for, contracts that perhaps they didn't really qualify for. Whatever happened in that case? What's going on? Did we? Quite interesting. All right, it's almost 10 a.m. Let me jump inside the Chop Shop here and see what people have been posting. The Chop Shop, the Friends page, which is a closed Facebook page, the friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show, or kind of like the Nathan Ivey Show, maybe. See, Bengals are going back to Andy Dalton and starting quarterback. Thank you, Jesse. Tina Cole, appreciate you. What? You are funny for this. Somebody is going to hell for that TNT. That is hilarious. I did see this, man. Okay, so this happened at a Texas mall recently. You had a group of black men, about maybe 5 of them, maybe 6 of them. They're in a mall. Police, 4 officers roll up on them, and they've got their weapons drawn. Their weapons are drawn. The officers are claiming that they got a notification of a mass shooting that was in progress. So they told these black men to get belly down on the concrete because I guess they were suspects. But one of them was speaking up, man. He was like, man, I don't want to get on the ground. Why should I get on the ground? He was like, resisting what they were trying to do. And apparently it was all mistaken identity. But again, why do they have to be dehumanized? You know what I'm saying? Why do they have to be dehumanized in order to just, was that really necessary? And these men are on their bellies. The officers have their weapons out and they're talking to them and trying to explain it to them like, hey, here's what's going on. And at the end of the day, it was mistaken identity. Yeah, it's a damn shame. What is this? Okay, I like that. Nice. Oh, that's nice. That's dope. That's dope. Boomtown Chef wins major Food Network challenge. Is that right? What is this? Videos show Camp Pendleton arrest of Marines suspected of human smuggling? Marines? Kanye West steps out in Confederate jacket. I mean, Kanye he's smart. He's a true artist because what he tries to do is he tries to manipulate. He tries to handle these toxic objects like the Confederate flag. Didn't he come out with some Rockaware or some Kanye gear or something like that? I don't know, many years ago, and they had the Confederate flag on it. I mean, he's trying to be an iconoclast. He's challenging conventional wisdom. And plus, I don't think he's taking his medicine either, so it's a bad thing. Evans Landscaping, right, Clue. Evans Landscaping, that's what it was. And whatever happened to Evans from Evans Landscaping? You see, Evans Landscaping. Whatever happened to him? You see, judge rules on Evans' retrial request. Judge will soon decide punishment for Evans' Landscaping. You telling me this man ain't written to jail yet? Okay, 6 months after jury convicts Doug Evans of fraud, no sentencing date set. So that's my question. Has Doug Evans been sentenced? The article I read was from July of this year. And let me see, what is his name again? Doug Evans. Let's see, Doug Evans' sentence. I don't think he's been sentenced. I don't see him being sentenced. I'm looking in the news right now, doing a Google search right now. Judge refuses to overturn Doug Evans' fraud convictions. Okay, here it is, July. Judge refuses to overturn Doug Evans' fraud convictions or give him a new trial. This is going to, it was originally posted in July of this year, and it was updated in August. So let me read the updates and see, because I'm curious now. Like, they found him guilty, but he hasn't been tried yet. And we also don't know what the fine is going to be. And remember, the former general manager, I think his name was Mike Moeller, is what I'm reading. He bid minority state demolition jobs worth $10 million. So think about it. So not only did Doug Evans get a chance to enrich himself by bidding on minority state demolition jobs using a pass-through, but you also have to analyze the impact and the damage that were done to all the black businesses that didn't get those contracts. Like, because Doug Evans was able to swindle and get the contracts, that meant that somebody else that maybe put in bids did not get the contracts. These are probably minority-owned businesses, real minority-owned businesses, that could have used that money for growth. I don't know how they make that right. I mean, when they pay a fine, does the money go to these other contractors? Because how do you make them whole? Okay, so Doug Evans, man, that's interesting. Now, is he out on bail while he's doing all of this? I know the judge denied a new sentence, so it looks like he's got a new trial. It looks like he's going to be sentenced. I mean, I don't know what the process is for that, but it looks like he hasn't been sentenced yet. He's been found guilty, but he hasn't been sentenced. Interesting. CG Dub writes, Mr. and Mrs. Evans are living their best life. He ain't worried about going to jail. Business will probably be putting his wife's name, and the money keeps rolling in. Republicans use sound bites that the federal deficit doubled under Obama. I'm looking at those numbers. That is close to being numerically correct, but falls short of being 100%. When you take into account the Great Recession, making W. Bush's temporary tax cuts permanent, increased Social Security and Medicare spending as more baby boomers retire and become 65 years old, and the Afghanistan and Iraq wars he inherited, the story is quite different. Look at Mason Marley with the facts. Hashtag facts all around. Look at you. I like it. I like it. Hashtag facts. Yeah. Yeah, as I understand it, he's 100% correct. Oh, that's great. What is this? 2 hours ago. Okay, so Demaya Denard had a proposal ordering employees in Cincinnati to stop asking about salary history. because it was unfairly impacting the salaries of women workers and workers in general. Black Russia writes, Mike Jones, you need to read that article from last year about Obama. Many of the things Trump did, most people agree with. Clumagic writes, agree, CG Dub. Evans ain't got no worries. So you get caught in a federal case, you dead wrong, and you ain't got nothing to worry about? Let me see here. Professor who posted racist, sexist tweets won't be fired. Oh, okay. I see you. Wait a minute. Pete Buttigieg is a lying MF. What? This is posted yesterday, 8 p.m., written by Michael Harriot, who does a lot of good stuff for The Root. I've seen a lot of articles, and I'm like, oh, okay. Damn. This man has almost 500,000 likes on this. I like this. Okay, I'm going to check this out. They're saying Pete Buttigieg is on some BS, huh? About the author, well-renowned Wikipeologist, not sure what that means, getter and doer of it, never renege, never will, last real niggas alive. That's Michael Harriot. That's the author of that piece by The Root titled Pete Buttigieg is a lying MF. That is hilarious right there. That is hilarious. Somebody writes, what has Louis Farrakhan, Glenn Public Enemy borrowed the clip? Nate, may I suggest you pass by Mr. Evans' business on Round Bottom Road? Ain't just changed. The trucks are rolling in and out. That's called money, right? Really? That is quite interesting, really. So it's business as usual, huh? Oh, that was great. What is this? I see some post about Fanon. I'm sorry. It's oh man, what is that? Nice. Oh, that's hilarious. That is quite hilarious. Okay. I'm sorry. I know this is really unorthodox because I'm not speaking, but again, shout out to the Ohio Kings. Their debut is on December 7th as Cincinnati's new ABA expansion team. This is a black-owned endeavor. And, I'm happy for these athletes too, man. That's dope for these athletes because now these athletes are going to get a chance to, maybe live out their hoop dreams. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. All right. Okay. They got games that go all the way into next year. So that's going to be pretty dope. Yeah, that's going to be pretty dope. I like it. I like I see these brothers. Who is that brother right there? He looks familiar. I know they all ballers though. It's going to be great, man. These athletes get a chance to be out in front and center and get a chance to live their hoop dreams again. CGW writes, get him on your show. No, yeah, I am. I'm going to reach out to Kevin Aldridge, see if we can get him on the show again. I would like to talk with some of the players, too, before they do. I will definitely do that. And, of course, we talked to Kevin, I don't know when it was, 3-4 weeks ago when he first announced, and he was nice enough to give us a little bit of time. And he came in and gave us the whole rundown of how it started and, you know, how they got together and the idea. And just very happy for him. Very happy. Hope it's very successful. Hope they are very successful in that. 34% of black registered voters supporting Trump, according to Rasmussen poll. I wouldn't trust the Rasmussen poll, though. Rasmussen, everybody. To me, Rasmussen is biased. That's just to me. They're very, very biased. And that's just again, I'm not going to just shit on it. I'm just saying that's just my opinion of it. Because that don't even sound right. 34% of registered voters say they're going to vote for Trump. That don't even sound right. 34%, that's pretty high. And I can't think of anything that Trump has done that would really earn that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Can't buy that one. Listen, thank you for being here. Want to give you an update for the show. I will not be with you live on Wednesday, and I will not be with you live on Thursday, and I'm not planning on being with you live on Friday, although of the rest of the days in the week, that's the one that I may come back. I mean, I do have some flexibility to do a live show on Friday, and I'll give you an update on Thursday on that effort. Depends on whether I'm going to step out of town or not. If I step out of town, then I will not. And if I'm in town, then I will do the show. All right. So I will let you know. So have a great week. Okay. I know it's going to be a food apocalypse in the house of some folks. Okay. I know you going down. You're going to smash, get it in, enjoy, fellowship, talk family business. Remember, take about 15 minutes, talk a little family biz. Make sure maybe y'all want to stack your chips and go into some type of business endeavor together as a family, or you want to talk about making sure Big Mama or the patriarch or the matriarch has his or her affairs in order. Or maybe you want to talk about some kind of long-term investment with your brothers and your sisters and your cousins and your aunties and your uncles. I know how it is. Sometimes family is the last people you want to do business with. But I don't know. For me personally, I think that could be some of the first people. Speaking of which, Ohio Kings, that's what Kevin Aldridge did. Yeah, it was him. It's three brothers all together. I think his cousin is involved. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Listen, have a great day, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio, powered by Cincinnati Digital Media. We call it Cin Digital, and you can find us on Facebook and check out all of our podcasts. Power to the people. Viva La Chapas. And I'm out.